Hi, everyone. My name is Regina Soot, and I'm the current Vice President for Membership for COABE. And I'd like to welcome you to our series of interviews with the COABE Journal authors. Today, we are talking with Katherine Wood-Murphy, the author of the article, Beyond I'm Lost, Using an ESOL Toolkit to Build Inclusive ABE ASE Classrooms. So welcome, Katherine.
Hi, thank you.
Can you tell us, first introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, but then tell us, why did you write this article for the COABE Journal?
Okay, well, first of all, I've been involved in adult education either professionally or as volunteer, off and on and mostly on for over 20 years. And I really am, I'm caught, I'm hooked. I love teaching adult ed. I've taught pretty much everything that there is to teach. I was an ESL teacher for a long time, and I've been a GED teacher for about 4 years now. I also taught family literacy for a long time, and I've loved all of those. I have been working for about 12 years at Literacy Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, teaching ESL, Family Lit, and most recently ABE, GED. And I wrote the article to highlight a couple of things. First of all, that teaching ESL and teaching ABE are not as different as adult ed teachers often think that they are. I wanted to stress the importance, how vital it is to incorporate students' knowledge, students' experience, and students' cultures into the classroom. And I wanted to make the point that that is just as important with our American-born students as it is with our ESL students. And lastly, I wanted to make a connection between the fantastic K-12 scholarship that is happening around social justice education and multicultural education and culturally responsive teaching. I wanted to connect all of that to adult ed, because often I feel like the K-12 research and scholarship happens over here, and the adult ed research and scholarship happens over here, but it's really not that different. And we really all need to be talking to each other about the same things, because we are all educators, and we are often serving, if not the same individuals, the same families, and they need very similar types of support. The more we can talk to each other and compare our experiences and talk about what's similar and different and work together, the better we can support families that need educational support, not just children or adults that need educational support. And there's that family lit teacher talking right there.
Thanks for that. It's very interesting to me, you know, as being a program director for many years, how you're right. A lot of ESOL teachers don't think they can teach ABE or vice versa. And there's so much that's transferable between the both.
There is. And I didn't think I could teach ABE either before I started doing it. And I really love it. My background, my academic background is all in TESOL. And all of that work that I did, learning how to support students from different cultures in TESOL, all of it applies in ABE. It's just that the culture is different. The culture of the majority of my students now is African American, and that's just, it's a culture. And everything that I learned about working with students from different cultures as an ESOL teacher still applies and still helps me as an ABE GED teacher. And that's what a lot of this article is about, how I'm using the same toolkit to work with a different group of people.
So this kind of leads right into the next question, which is really, what do you think, or how will adult ed practitioners benefit from reading your article, and how will that benefit their learners?
Well, when teachers benefit, when teachers get more support to do their jobs better, that benefits learners. Helping teachers helps the learners. Teachers who read my article will see that there are methods and approaches that are often thought of as more of an ESL thing. They'll see those methods applied to ABE. They'll see how they can work well with a bit of adaptation, maybe, to support ABE students learning just as well as they support ESL students learning. ESL teachers will see that the things they're doing with their students can also be used to help ABE students, and that there's, again, that there's a connection with what ABE teachers do. ABE teachers will see that there's a whole world of ESL methods out there that they might be able to use without even realizing that that's possibly applicable to them. They'll see how they can support student learning better, and in turn, that's going to benefit ABE students, because they're going to get the benefit of methods and activities that their teachers may not have known about or thought about or been trained in. And they'll see real, practical, concrete examples of how to include their students' knowledge and experience and culture in the classroom. They might come from the ESL side, but I know from personal experience that with a bit of tweaking, they can also be applied to working with ABE learners from a variety of different backgrounds. And that will benefit students because their teachers will be able to use better methods with them. And finally, I believe that any time that teachers are intentionally and affirmatively bringing student knowledge and experience and culture into their classrooms, that always benefits students.
Agreed. So what do you hope readers will kind of take away from this article?
That ESL and ABE are less different and have more in common than people think they do. That scholarship in adult ed and scholarship in K-12 have more in common than people think they do. That scholarship in adult education needs to be more connected and more integrated with scholarship in American education overall. And maybe most importantly, that we don't fix educational inequity and institutional racism in education without addressing culture and without including adult ed students and their cultures, all of their cultures.
Thanks. So just, as a way to kind of wrap up, I'm just wondering if you have any additional comments that you'd like to share with the readers.
Every truly inclusive classroom, regardless of the ages of the students, I don't care if you're working with adult ed students or kindergartners, every truly inclusive classroom is a building block of that inclusive, equitable society that all of us need and that many people in education want to try to help build. We don't always know what to do to fix something as huge as institutional racism. And it can be overwhelming, but building a classroom where all of our students and all of their backgrounds are intentionally, affirmatively included, and everyone is assumed to have something to contribute, something to share that will benefit others, and where everyone is valued, that is one of the most important anti-racist actions that teachers can take as professionals.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for spending your time talking about your article today and for writing it for the journal. Just want to make sure everybody knows to read Katherine's article or to read other articles in the journal. You just need to go to www.coabe.org and click on the journal tab. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me and for printing my work.